What's up, people? Back in the building once again. You got your boy, the CuzWeKin Connoisseur Big U, and I'm bringing you another episode of the Open Bar Sports Talk Edition. Actually, the first episode of the new year. So, Happy New Year to you people. Hope you had a wonderful New Year celebration, however you bring it in. Hope, health, wealth, blessings, and all of that to you and the people that you love around you. But as always, we're going to bring you sports, basketball in particular, from a New York Knicks point of view. So I did miss a Knicks game. So this is going to be this is after the second game of the season that I'm coming to you and reporting on. The franchise, the team that we know and love, the New York Knicks. In that first game on the New Year, wonderful thing. The Knicks played the Portland Trail Blazers. Carmelo Anthony was back in the Garden for the first time since joining that franchise, and the Knicks dealt out an old-fashioned ass whooping. Yes, sir. From beginning to end, we whooped their ass from pillar to post and back to pillar. They couldn't do nothing with us. It was, in a sense, the perfect game that the New York Knicks could have had because the Knicks kicked the Trailblazers' ass, and Carmelo Anthony was received well. I was worried about this a little with him coming back to New York, not knowing how the fans would receive him because we do have a weird fan base. I'm a transplanted New Yorker in New Jersey now, but I know that sometimes we could be a little finicky with our sports and with our fandom, and I didn't know if Melo was going to get a raw deal when they announced him. Were they going to boo? Were they going to cheer? But when they announced him, that he had a standing ovation. He played well throughout, and pretty much gave us some of that Melo of old. So again, just showing that he is a consummate professional and he can continue to deliver high level basketball, high level quality play from an NBA level basketball player, an all time great. Hopefully a Hall of Famer soon. He did his thing. But like I said, on the flip side of that, the Knicks whipped their ass, what we needed them to do. And that was their third victory in a row under Coach Miller. I don't know the last time the Knicks had a 3-game win streak. I'm not going to look it up. If you know, or if you want to look that up, you could put that in the comments down below. But it feels good. It's something that the Knicks did need to get us kind of righted and back on track. Again, I will continue to reiterate this. We are not a good team, but we are on a good stretch of basketball where the coach has them playing defense, and when they rest their laurels on their defense, we have a chance to do some good things sometime on offense. It'll keep us in the game, and when we do have good offense, it shows, and we get the little win streaks that we had coming into the second game of the year, which we just had last night against the Phoenix Suns, which was a winnable game. Was a very winnable game, man. They're not a very good team. Record-wise, they are better than us. They return some plays. DeAndre Ayton has been back playing well. I think that Devin Booker is going to probably be a superstar at some point in the near future. The guy can put the ball in the basket and score with the best of them. But the way the Knicks have been playing lately, I thought that they would have enough to maybe notch that fourth win in a row, which would be unheard of. I guess, they don't want shit to go too crazy if the Knicks win 4 in a row. Maybe the nukes would have came from Iran or something with the Trump business. Something crazy would have happened to retaliate for, because that's an anomaly. The Knicks should not be winning 4 games in a row. So I guess, the basketball gods put a stop to that to keep the safety of the rest of the world, because who knows what would have happened if the Knicks would have won 4 games in a row. But they led through most of that game against the Suns. I think it may have been a thing of complacency again. The Suns aren't a great team. They've been playing pretty decently against decent competition, and this was a game that I kind of think they had in the bag. They led by double digits multiple times in the game, and when it came down to the home stretch of the game, they could not stop Devin Booker or Kelly Oubre. Couldn't stop neither one of those guys. Those guys seem to score at will from wherever, whenever they wanted to. I don't know if in the new year I see some Sherm creeping into the new year. I'm not sure. But some of the defensive rotations, it seemed like the Phoenix Suns from the end of the third quarter on through the fourth quarter, always seem to be wide open at the 3-point line. And this is something that's ailed the Knicks since I could remember. So, Mike Miller, you've been doing your thing, but get that shit together. They have to contest. If you do not contest shooters at an NBA level, they're going to knock down fucking shots. They're NBA, they're professional basketball players. All they do is shoot all day, and all night. That's all they do is shoot. They get paid to do that. So if you're not going to contest or defend, they're going to knock shots down. So I'm not shocked at that one. We had some good news for the Knicks. Reggie Bullock returned to the New York Knicks, played his first couple of games as a Knick. In his first game, he did notch double figures in that routing of the Trailblazers. Second game didn't do so well, didn't shoot so consistently from the field, but that's to be expected with someone who has not played in real game situations for quite a long time. It's going to be there or not there until he plays himself back into game shape. The only way he can get himself back into rhythm and game shape is by playing the game. So, saw a little bit of Wayne Ellington, and that may be the reason why we lost that Phoenix Suns game. Again, Wayne, much respect to you, bro. Was a great college player, has had a solid NBA career, but that shot selection reeks of Sherm smoking. Reeks of cheap reefer, dust, wet, all of that kind of stuff. He the Knicks played well throughout the game, but he did see time in that game, and we did end up with the L at the end of it. So I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying that it was his fault, but that's something you got to be careful with putting Wayne Ellington into the lineup, because I think if anything, even if it's not that he's some kind of curse or something like that, which I don't think he is, it does mess up the rotation that they had, trying to add these new players back in, Reggie Bullock being one of them too. But I think with his contribution on the defensive end, you can afford to put him in there to let him kind of feel himself back into the rotation, where Wayne Ellington is a willing but not an able defender. Like, he runs around, he gives effort, but at his size, he's not very athletic. Reggie Bullock, big guard, a guard or swing man. He has some length, some size to him. Athletic, he gets out in the passing lanes and wreaks havoc on the defensive end. So, I'm not saying that, Wayne, I don't know. But we did lose with the insertion of Brother Wayne. And they say that you should give people their flowers while they can smell them. So Mike Miller, you the man, bro, right now for anyhow. You have the Knicks looking like they are trying to represent themselves as something. Up till now, before then, I don't know what the hell they was doing. I didn't know what was going on, and the team looked kind of juvenile at times. But right now, we seem to be a team that is not very good, again, that is resting their laurels on the defense and trying to get out and get up and down the floor. The turnovers are down. He has solidified the rotation at that point guard position, which has seemed to solidify the play of a mediocre team. So we play hard. So if the teams come out and sleep on us, we could steal a win here or there. And that's all that you could really ask for this season. I'm not hoping that we do great this season, because if we do bad, we end up getting another, good pick, and that adds to the young talent base that we have moving forward. I don't want them to tank by no means, or not look like they tanking like they did when Fizdale was there, because that shit looked like tanking. The lineups he put in there was like, oh yeah, this nigga's trying to lose. This is either he's trying to lose, or he got a dust connect, and he's keeping all the Sherm, all the bags of wet. He's keeping all that to himself. So I don't know what was going on with Fizdale, where he wasn't even trying to disguise the tank or whatever he was doing. But, Mike Miller has it looking like we are trying to win. When we lose, it looks like we lost in an effort to actually trying to win a game. So, peace to that dude, props to him. And I think he is our answer for right now, unless we can lure a marquee coaching name to the New York Knicks. If we can't get your Mark Jacksons or your Jeff Van Gundy or somebody with a name like that, again, even if we could get a newer guy, but it would have to be somebody with New York roots, or Patrick Ewing or somebody, if they decided to give this guy a chance. The town, New York, will give them a chance to right the ship and be bad, because we're going to be bad now. So we need somebody at the helm that can get these guys to buy into a system, make them play hard so that they look okay to us. We're not expecting them to be winning a lot, but they need to be competitive. They need to be gritty like the city that the team plays for. But for the time being, Mike Miller does seem to be the guy that is getting that job done. So, leave that man alone, let him do his thing. And, again, props to you. You the man, Mike. For the hot and not segment, we're going to do it a little different because, like I said, I let a couple games pass. So I'm not going to get into the exact stats of a person for a game or average. I'm not doing all the numbers. We're not number crunching here. But what I'm going to say is Julius Randle, for the past few games, even the game that we just lost, he did not have a great shooting night, but for his performance overall, he's averaging like 30 points and 10 rebounds a game, which is phenomenal. Like maybe 28 points or something like that. You can look it up if you're one of those guys that likes to be exactly on the number. And, let me know in the comments below how far we're at. But it's 28, 29 points and 10 rebounds a game. And, I can't complain about that. That guy, his 3-point percentage is up over 40. He's shooting like 50% from the field and shooting 90% from the line in his last 5 or so games. So that guy is most definitely the hot player of the game. He's somebody that took on a big responsibility by being the number one guy. I think I even said this before, on a bad, mediocre team, because even though if a team is bad or not, when you come to a team, they expect you to do something. So he's the number one guy. So however that team is going, they're going to blame on him how they're going. And sometimes that will get you down in the doldrums and have you, kind of second guessing yourself. He stayed the course while Fizdale was there having him run point and do all this weird shit that took him out of his game. He just stayed the course, stayed ready. And then when Mike Miller did put things in place so that he could just play his position, he came out and he shined like a diamond, man. So props to that dude. Salute you, Julius Randle. Keep it up, and we might see you in an all-star selection. Who knows? On the not side of things, I got to go with my rook again. And this is not for a lack of effort, because he is doing everything in his power to, help his team win. But it just seems that right now his shot is not falling at a high percentage. He's shooting about 30% from the field, and I think even less than that from three, maybe like in the teens from the 3-point line. So, he may be getting fatigued. Who knows? I don't think so, because it's kind of early. But I think that he needs to just follow Julius Randle's, follow his example, stay the course, Rook, because he's in the right places. He's making the right decisions most times. But it just seems that his shot isn't always true and isn't always reliable. The way you can see that he shoots the ball sometimes, and as soon as he lets it go, he's like, damn, like it didn't feel right. But just stick with your mechanics, stay practicing. I know he's a guy that works hard. I can tell from his attitude and his demeanor that he works hard in practice, just like he works on the court. So just stick to it, be true to what you do, Rook, and I'm sure it will pay off. But I have to give you, for these, these past few games here, he has been the not player of the game. And now that brings us to the end, which is not the beginning. And that's why they call it the end. Pretty much it's the opposite of the beginning. And where we end, people, we normally do, and we have, and I was trying to get Melo on the Knicks. He wasn't in the league. He's back in the league with Portland. We end on Carmelo Anthony. The legend, the Knick legend, that hopefully will get his number 7 retired with the New York Knicks. Carmelo has been playing great. In that first game of the new year that he returned to the Garden, like I said, he received a huge ovation from the fans. Played 31 minutes, had 27 or 26 points, which is his season high so far, on like 11 of 13 shooting. So it was phenomenal. Had a phenomenal game, 7 rebounds on top of that. It was vintage Melo, man. He was scoring from anywhere, everywhere, anytime he wanted to. But, unfortunately for Portland, and which is great for us, they weren't enough to stop us that night. In the last game that they just played, they won again. He didn't have a great game, didn't get a lot of shots, did have a great game statistics-wise, because he scored about 15, 16 points, and I think he only missed 2 shots. He was like 7 for 9 or something like that from the field. The load of the shots went to Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Hassan Whiteside, who has been playing phenomenally for Portland. But again, Melo has been doing his thing. If you guys are a fan of Carmelo Anthony like I am, tap in, check out Portland every once in a while. The games aren't always on networks that you can get easily with your cable providers or whatever. You got to get that CuzWeKin TV solution. We spoke about that, in our end of the year open bar video. I'm going to do a video focusing solely on that, so you can see what that is, so you can check out, Carmelo Anthony playing in Portland, even if you're living in New York or wherever you're living. You can check out the Knicks games if you're transplanted from New York or wherever you're living. You can look at them on MSG and not pay the $5 that the cable companies are asking for. Again, Melo, keep on doing what you're doing, man. Hopefully they will retire. One thing before I end off, come on, the hate, man. I don't understand the hate. Again, after he had his phenomenal game with the Knicks, where he had his 26 points and 7 rebounds on 11 of 13 shooting, 4 or 5 from the 3-point line or whatever it was, you had a couple of sportscasters that celebrated him, and then some that even in their celebration, like they congratulated him, oh, Melo played kind of good, but he didn't have no assists, and even though he had 26 points, the Blazers are still bad and blah, blah, blah. Now, look, this is a player, Carmelo Anthony, that wasn't in the league at all, that all of these sportscasters were trying to argue he didn't belong in the league at all. So now he comes back in the league, plays very well, and now it's, oh, he doesn't have assists because now he's playing defense decently. It just seems like they're looking for a reason. He's the GOAT. He is, the guy that they want to, he's the scapegoat. They're going to try to blame something on for some reason and speak negatively of the guy. And, I love Skip and Shannon. I saw one of their shows where, Shannon Sharp said that he had an issue because when they asked Melo a question after his performance, he spoke about wanting to have his jersey retired in New York. And he was saying that he doesn't like when guys ask for things like that. But if they ask the question, I don't see what the issue is, man. And, Skip said that he's the best player on a team that's so terrible. How did he become the best player? When? If he is a guy, people were arguing that he didn't even deserve to be in the league. Now he's the best player on the Portland Trail Blazers, which I don't believe that. I'm a big Melo fan, but I wouldn't go that far at this advanced point in age in his career that he's the best player on Portland. Like, I think he's a very formidable player. I still think he's one of the top guys scoring wise in the league, one of the top guys knowledge-wise playing basketball in the league right now. One of those guys, a veteran, solid, but not the best guy on that, star laden. You got Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. Like, I don't think he's the best player on that team. But if they do, I ain't going to argue with it. Melo, you the man. That brings us to the end of the show. Thanks for hanging out with me again. As always, this stuff to drink, jokes, conversation, ideas, Knicks talk, all that is on the house. See you next episode, man. Peace.
Baby, I'll